Hi, good evening. How are you today? Okay, hello, Gonzalez. How are you today? Hi, Juan. Hello, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. Uh, Give me a second.
Okay.
I'm going to fix it a little bit. I'm I am able to see you.
Oh, I
I'm
have
not.
my camera off. I'm really sorry. Okay,
It's okay.
I'm
I'm not
sorry.
able to. Uh,
I'm sorry. My camera was off. Okay, that's why you couldn't see me. But I'm here. Okay. So thank you for being here, guys. Marcela, how are you today?
Hello, teacher. I'm good. And
Oh,
you?
that's fine. I'm fine today. Thank you for asking. And thank you for being here. Okay. And what about Sonia? How are you today, Sonia?
Hello, teacher. I'm good.
Okay, that's nice. Let's see. Okay, thank you for being here, Sonia. And thank you for being on time. Okay, let's see right now. Edith, hello, how are you today?
Hello, teacher. I'm fine, and you?
Okay, that's good. I'm pretty good today. Thank you for asking. Guys, thank you for coming on time to our class. It's time to start. Just before we start, guys, I will ask you something.
Hi, teacher. Good evening.
Hi, good evening. Hi, what's your name?
Omar.
Ah, Omar. Okay, I'm really sorry. I asked you because I can see that you have your last name. So that's why I didn't know. But thank you for having you here. Well, guys, it's time to start. Thank you for coming on time to our class. It's, well, 7 minutes past 8, but we are still on time for our, well, to do the activities of our class. Remember, guys, well, it's a pleasure to be here with you again. I hope you are ready to practice and, of course, to learn. Okay. Before we start with our class, let's start with the first activity, guys. And well, remember that yesterday we start our class talking about celebrations or holidays around the world, specifically in El Salvador. Today, everybody, we will focus in one holiday, which is Christmas. So today, guys, we have different pictures for you to have some ideas. And also, we have some activities that you can take into account at the moment of answering my question. Okay, so let's see right now. I want to start with Juan. Okay, Juan, tell me, what do you like to do, or what do you do on Christmas?
well, as told you before in my family, since I was memory, we haven't. Well, no, we have never celebrated this, any parties that we can say. Well, in my case and my family and I, just it's a normal day.
Okay.
We don't well we don't cook any special dishes for that date. For example, we don't do anything special. Just as a normal day. Well, in my case. So, but here in El Salvador, many people celebrate Christmas, right? Uh,
Yeah, that's right.
well, well, Salvadorians knows how to drink, especially. Yeah, yeah. We're going drunk. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, that's why we have a lot of accidents. the crimes is up on those days, and many car accidents and that days as well. And we have a lot of problems, and many children are burned because they burn some rockets, and some of them has many well problems because fathers well parents are celebrating, and meanwhile the kid is alone. That's why many times kids suffered problems suffers about that Christmas, because if you don't pay attention to children's, well, you know what is going to happen later, right? So in my case, in my opinion, Christmas is a normal day. It's not a normal day because in those days happen those things that I show you. So, but it's my opinion.
Okay, well,
It's not a normal opinion. I know, but it's that I have, it is that I have now.
oh, but it's your point of view. So I have no problems with the things you mentioned because, well, sadly, that's the reality that we live, right? At least here in El Salvador. But well, it's good to know different opinions or different point of view about this kind of celebrations. So thank you for your comment, Juan. It was really nice. And even though you don't celebrate, so you mentioned something important, and it's that many people celebrate here in El Salvador, even though they are not careful about the things they do or all of the things they do, but at least we have some good things about those days, okay? And we will talk about that in a moment. But thank you, Juan. Let's see, Edith. What about you? Well, first of all, Edith, do you celebrate Christmas?
Yes, teacher.
Yes. Okay. And what do you do on Christmas?
In Christmas, I like to cook a lot of food for the people that arrive to my house, and I like to play with fireworks with my children. Um, that's it.
Okay, but it's pretty nice. So, well, you mentioned two great activities to do on Christmas, and it's to cook and also to play with fireworks with your children, which is something important, okay? So to take care of kids. Okay, very good. And Edith, I have a question for you. What do you prefer? Do you prefer to do you prefer or yeah, do you prefer people to come to your house and visit you, or or you like to visit other people? What do you prefer?
The two forks?
Both, really?
Yes.
Okay, that's really cool. Okay, well, in my case, I prefer to be at home and receive people in my house, but it's the point of view of any of us. So very good. Thank you, Edith, for your for sharing with us about some activities that you do. Now let's listen to Marcela Stephanie. Okay, Marcela Stephanie, tell me, do you celebrate Christmas?
Yes, I celebrate Christmas.
Okay, good. And what do you do on Christmas?
Okay, I share with my family, and I go to the church with my family too. And we also eat it's turkey or meat.
Okay.
No, depending depending of I eat.
On what you cook. Okay.
I want. Okay, I
Okay.
want. Or
Okay,
you or we
nice.
want.
Okay, that's nice. And well, great activities that you said. What about, well, you mentioned that you go to the church. What time do you go to the church on Christmas?
I go to the church is Catholic.
Uh-huh. Okay.
The religion Catholic.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah. So what time do you go? What time?
And
In the morning, in the afternoon?
in the night, at the
Oh, at
night.
night. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's nice. So thank you for sharing, Marcelo Stephanie, about it. It's really cool. Okay. I'm not, let's see. Okay, very good, Juan. Thank you for letting me know. So it's really cool, guys, to listen to some of the activities that you do. I am not used to some of those activities, but it's good to know. Okay. Thank you. Let's see now, everybody. Let's pay attention to Javier. Javier, hello. Tell me, do you like Christmas?
Oh, yes, of course. I really like
Okay.
that
Well,
day.
this is my favorite. Actually, this is my favorite holiday. That's why we practice about Christmas. But tell me, Javier, what do you do on Christmas?
Okay. Well, for example, I visit my mom and we make a delicious dinner and we enjoy quality time with the whole family. Um, and also, well, sometimes we play Secret Friends and, and we also born Chinese one powder with my son.
Okay, well, that's something nice. And I'm happy, guys, that you mentioned what Juan said, right? That sometimes parents don't care about kids or they are not careful about kids. But I can see that you are, guys. So that's a great practice that you are doing, okay? Always take care of your kids in
Yes,
those days. Actually, we are not close to that celebration. Actually, the closest celebration that we have is Father's Day. So, guys, well, boys, if you have kids, in the case of
yes,
Javier, you have, so you will celebrate on
it's
Saturday, and
fun.
Juan's also is going to celebrate. So, very good, guys. Well, let's continue. Thank you for sharing, Javier, about these activities. Before we finish, because we have to move to the next part, listen to Maria. Okay, Maria is here. So, let's see. Very good, Juan. Welcome back. Maria, tell me, do you like Christmas?
Hello,
Hi,
good evening.
good evening.
Yes, I like Christmas.
Okay, okay, pretty good. And tell me, what do you do on Christmas?
Um, I eat chicken and and um I eat a lot of grapes and with my family and we cook a cake for together. Uh, and that's it. And sometimes I uh, eh, play with I don't know how do you say estrellita with my daughter.
Okay, well, a good way to say estrellitas in English could be sparks. Wait, give me a second. Sparks.
Okay, spark with my daughter, and that's it.
Okay, nice. Well, thank you for sharing, Maria. I listened an amazing activity is to prepare a cake. Well, that's a great ability you have. Thank you for sharing, Maria. Well, as you can see, today, everybody, we are talking about different activities that we can do in a special celebration or on holidays. For example, well, even though we are talking about Christmas, there are different activities that we can do in some other holidays. For example, open presents. As I mentioned, on Saturday, we will celebrate Father's Day. So if you are father, if you have kids and you are a boy, a man, so you will open presents, or we expect so, okay, that you open presents if you are a father. Then maybe in some cases, this is not a common activity, at least here in El Salvador, I think it's not very common. but some people make a toast. Make a toast, everybody, is the activity in this picture, as you can see here. So that's make a toast. Well, play with fireworks is a Christmas activity. It's also common in some cases in Independence Day, but it depends. Also, eat chicken or eat something different like meat, Chinese food, or something different, guys, can be taken as an activity for different special occasions. And the last one, everybody, take pictures is an activity that you can do anywhere in any situation, okay? So please try to take this vocabulary and some other activities into account at the moment of talking about celebrations, okay? If you celebrate, so great, guys. You can share about different activities that you do. But if you don't celebrate, well, in that case, it's also good to share your point of view and also to listen to different activities that your classmates do. Okay? Well, guys, thank you for sharing and for practicing in this activity. We have to move right now to our next part. Today, everybody, we will talk about the adverbial clauses. Remember that yesterday we have a review about the relative clauses. Remember that there are two types of relative clauses, the defining relative clauses and the non-defining relative clauses. Defining relative clauses gives, defining relative clauses give essential information, important information to make the sentence make more sense, okay? And then everybody, the non-defining relative clauses are sentences or are sentences that give extra information. So in that case, everybody, you know, you can omit or you can hide that information and there is no problem, okay? Because at the end, the sentence still makes sense, okay? Today, guys, we have to move to a different kind of clauses, and these are the adverbial clauses. Let's pay attention to what we are going to learn today, and I want to listen to Marcela Abigail, okay? Marcela, please read this information for today.
Okay. Adverbial clauses. An adverb time clause shows when something happens. The structure is adverbial clause plus main clause. For example, when, before, after.
Okay, pretty good. Thank you, Marcela. Well, everybody, as you can see over here, today we are talking about the adverbial clauses. Adverbial clauses, of course, are talking about time, okay? So we can use these three words. Well, there are more adverbial clauses, but in this case, we will use when, before, and after, because those are the adverbial clauses or the adverbial words that we will use in the platform, in the activities on the platform, and also that we will practice today. So everybody, to start, remember that we are talking about time when using these words, okay? And remember, this is the basic structure of the adverbial clause sentences. So we have the adverbial clause, and then we have the main clause. Let's move to the first word. Remember, guys, the first word is when, okay? Can you help me, Omar, reading this information? Hello, Omar. Okay, let's see. Let's pay attention, everybody, to Maria. Maria, can you help me reading this information?
Okay, teacher. When. It means at the moment, at the time. When make clowns. When I gave my mom a present, she was happy. My mom was happy when I gave her a present.
Okay, thank you for reading, Maria. As you can see in these examples, guys, well, first of all, let's pay attention to the meaning of when. In this case, guys, we have a synonym or a short definition of these words. For example, when we are using when, we mean to say at the moment or at that time. Remember that both have the same meaning. So in this case, everybody, we are sharing the same idea. But pay attention to it. We have two sentences. When I gave my mom a present, she was happy. The next sentence, my mom was happy when I gave her a present. As you can see, we share the same idea in the two sentences. But what is the difference between the two sentences? What do you think, Juan? What is the difference between the two sentences?
Well, and the first one, the action is when you gave the present to your mom, and she feels happy, and she feels well. In the past, she felt happy, right? And the
Yeah.
second one, the action is yes, the action is when you when your mom is happy at the moment that she received the present, right? Both are the same idea, but the structure and the different, because because in the first one, the action, well, it is, well, see, the action is in the and on the mom, and the second one is the action when you give the present.
Okay, Juan, that was a great point of view. As you can see, in the two sentences, we share the same idea. My mom was happy, or she was happy. So the meaning of the sentence, it's the same. The difference, first of all, of course, is that we change the positions of the main clause and the adverbial clause. Remember that the adverbial clause is the part of the sentence in which we are using adverbial clause, in which we are using the adverbs. For example, when, before, or after. The second sentence in this case, or the second part of the sentence, the second clause, is the main clause, okay? So we are talking about as Juan said, we are talking about the emotion that my mom had. She was happy, okay? Then, when was she happy? We can ask the question because we are talking about time. When was she happy, or in what moment was she happy? So she was happy at the moment I gave her a present, or at the moment I gave her a present, she was happy. There is no difference in meaning when we use these two sentences. The first difference is that they change positions. The adverbial clause and the main clause change positions. The second difference that it's also important, guys, is the use of a comma. Okay? Look at this. When we use the adverbial clause in the first part of the sentence, and then we use the main clause, we have to use a comma in the middle of the sentence. The first idea or the first piece of information, when I gave my mom a present, comma, second piece of information, okay? Then we have the second example. In the second example, we use the main clause in the first part of the sentence. In that case, everybody, we don't have to use commas, okay? If we use the main clause at the beginning of the sentence, we don't need commas. And it happens when we are talking about the adverbs, when, before, and after. That's why, everybody, today we are going to study only those 3 adverbs of time. Because if we study more adverbs of time, in that case, everybody, we have to study the structure of some other adverbs of time. So in this case, it's better because we only have to study 3, and they have the same structure. Okay. So let's continue, guys, with our next part. A second. Okay. Well, everybody, let's move to the next part of our examples. Okay, remember the first adverb of time is when. Now, everybody, we have to continue with before. Can you help me now, Brian? Welcome to the class. Okay, Brian, read this information, please.
Okay, teacher. Before. It means prior to. Before, main clause. Adverbial clause. Before we eat turkey and Thanksgiving, we pray and thank God for all his blessing. We pray and thank God for all his blessing before we eat turkey and Thanksgiving.
Okay, thank you, Juan. Sorry, Brian, thank you for reading. I'm sorry, Juan. Okay.
Don't worry.
As you can see, everybody, in this example, again, we are sharing the same idea in the 2 sentences. The 2 differences that they have is that, first of all, guys, we use the adverbial clause, comma, main clause. Then, guys, in the second example, we use the main clause and the adverbial clause and no commas. Remember, when we use the adverb of time at the beginning of the sentence, use a comma. If we are using the main clause, then we don't use commas. Okay, remember, when, before, and after, comma, and then the main clause. Okay, so let's pay attention to this good practice that we can do in Thanksgiving. Actually, in El Salvador, people don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but it's a great example that you can take into account if you go to the United States, okay, or to another country where they celebrate Thanksgiving. So as you can see, we are talking about before. And what is the meaning of before, or what is a synonym of before? Prior to. Okay, prior to is not very common. However, guys, it's another way to say before. So if you look for a definition of before, you will find prior to. If you will find for a definition of prior to, you will find before. They have the same meaning. But in simple words, we can say that before is always talking about the first action that happens in a situation, and then in the main clause we mention the action that happened. So as you can see, before we eat turkey on Thanksgiving, we pray and thank God for all his blessings, or we pray and thank God for all his blessings before we eat turkey on Thanksgiving. So of course, you know that you will eat turkey on Thanksgiving, but first we have to pray. We have to thank God for all the things that he has done for us. So as you can see, before in this case, even though it's together with the second action, make an emphasis in the action that should be first. We pray and thank God for all his blessings before we eat turkey on Thanksgiving, even though it's in the second sentence. So in that case, everybody, we still have to respect, or we still have to talk about or to emphasize the first action. Okay, so very good job. Right now, remember guys, before, even though it's in the second action or it's in the second action, make an emphasis in the main clause or make an emphasis in the first action that should happen, and then we can continue with the next one. Now, everybody, let's move to the last word. Okay, in this opportunity, I want to listen to Jessie Mira. Jessie, can you help me reading the information, please?
Okay. After. It means so subsequently, after main clause, after midnight, my family and open presents on Christmas. My family and I open present on Christmas after midnight.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jessie, for reading. This is another word, guys, maybe can be, well, it's common for us after, but the meaning, guys, is not very common because it's subsequently. Again, guys, they have the same meaning. After is a synonym of subsequently. Subsequently, of course, is a synonym of after. But pay attention to our example. After midnight, my family and I open presents on Christmas. In that case, everybody, so it means, everybody, that after a specific moment or after after a specific moment, we are doing or we do an activity. Look at the second example, it's the same idea. Remember that the first change or the first difference is the position of the sentences, the adverbial clause and the main clause. But then, everybody, the next difference is the use of commas or no commas. My family and I open presents on Christmas after midnight. When we use it at the end of the sentence, when we use the adverb of time in the second part of the sentence, then, guys, we are not using commas. So pay attention to it. We're talking about what happened next, or what is the next action from a specific moment and so on. So after, in this case, we are using a time expression, for example, 12 a.m. What are the next activities that we do after 12 a.m.? So my family and I open presents, okay? That's the first activity, or that's the meaning of after. I could say, guys, well, I said before that this is kind of common, okay? After, before are common, also when is common. So this is most like a review that you can do to practice this these adverbs of time. Just remember, guys, if we want to use it in a sentence, we can use it in these two ways. The most common form, everybody, after, when, before, comma, main clause. And if you want to use it in the second form, the main clause and then the adverbial clause, it's okay. It depends on you. Just remember, guys, if you are writing a paragraph, if you are writing an essay and you want to use these adverbs of time, remember to use the correct structures. Why do I say this, everybody? Because when you speak, you don't have to use commas, right? Because we are just speaking. But in case, guys, you have to write something important for a job application or for a scholarship or something like that, everybody, try to remember these structures and use it correctly. Do you have any question before we continue with the next activity, guys? Questions, questions?
No, that's completely clear.
It's clear. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Juan, for your confirmation. Now, everybody, we will do an activity about this topic. As you can see today, guys, maybe this is confusing. Sometimes we confuse the use of before and after. So today, everybody, we will check together what's the correct word, before or after, in some examples. Okay? Let me share with you my screen and pay attention to our exercise. Okay, we have right now, well, this is kind of short. So we have right now, everybody, we have right now the use of before or after, okay? I will ask you guys to complete the sentence. It will be kind of easy because it's short. So try to give me the right word, before or after. To start with this activity, guys, let's pay attention to Javier. Okay, Javier, can you tell me what is the first sentence?
Sorry, I have microphone off.
Okay.
The first.
Yes.
Okay, let me see. I wash my hands. Well,
So what do you think? Before or after?
is before.
Before we use a toilet.
Before.
Okay. So thank you for your answer. Well, Juan and Sonia shared their opinion. So what do you think, Javier? Do you think it's before or we can change it to after?
Before.
Before. Okay, so you don't change your mind. Okay, there is no problem. So you can help me with our next example. Sonia, what do you think is the correct sentence? Sentence number 2.
We do our homework after.
Okay, we do our homework after we come
Before.
home.
Before.
Before. Okay, so you change your mind. We do our homework before we come home from school. Okay, that's a great example. Thank you. Well, let's continue with our next sentence. Everybody, let's pay attention to Marcella Stephanie. Okay, Marcella Stephanie, help me with example 3.
I will change, teacher.
Oh, you will change your answer. So what is the correct sentence, Javier?
Because I was confusing with toilet, but the answer is after.
After, okay. I wash my hands after we use the toilet, okay. Nice job. Thank you for changing the word or your answer. As I mentioned, guys, sometimes we confuse what is the meaning of before and after. Sorry, before and after. So it's good for you to practice these words. Okay, very good, Javier. Thank you. Well, let's continue with Marcella Stephanie. Okay, girl, help me with example 3.
I consider it is before. We wash fruit and vegetables before we eat or cook them.
Okay, nice job. This is a great example. Oh, let's see. No, after. Marcela, in which example is after?
Example 2.
Example 2. We do our homework before, sorry, after we come home from school. Let's change the positions. After we come home from school, we do our homework. What do you think, guys? Well, Marcela think the correct answer is after, and Sonia said it's before. So now, Sonia, do you think it's before or do you change your mind?
No, I think it's before.
Before. Okay, so we will keep it
Yeah.
like before, guys. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's why I
It-
confirm. Yes,
Yeah,
Juan?
it's before because it was you have to do your homework in your home first, not in school, right?
Okay, so we come home from school.
We do our homework
Yes.
after we come home from school.
Okay, so
Después.
this is kind of difficult. Okay, well, that's why everybody, if it helps, guys, try to use both structures. First, the adverbial clause, in this case, before we come home from school, comma, we do our homework. So before. Or you can do the next, well, you can use now the next adverb of time. After we come home from school, we do our homework. So you can do that. You can change the position of the adverbial clause to confirm what is the right answer. So, yes, Marcela, that's right. We come home from school, regresamos de la escuela o regresamos a casa de la escuela. En este caso, regresamos de la escuela, pues es más entendible, creo. So, but we will check it a moment, guys. If you are confused with this example, so don't worry, we will check together. Now, okay, Marcela, I want you to help me, Marcela Abigail. Help me with example 4.
He brushes his teeth after he has dinner.
Okay, thank you. He brushes his teeth after he has dinner. So thank you, Marcela. Okay, we have to continue, but now I want to listen to Jessie. Jessie, help me with example 5.
Okay.
Example 5.
I go to bed after I take a shower.
Okay, nice job. After I take a shower. Thank you. Brian, help me with example 6.
Okay, I put my books in my bag before I go to school.
Okay, before I put my books in my bag before I go to school. Okay. Thank you, Brian. Let's continue with Edith. Tell me, Edith, what is example 7?
She drinks a glass of milk after she goes to bed.
After she goes to bed. Okay, thank you. What about example 8, Maria? What's the correct sentence?
Okay. She brushed her um before before she goes to work.
Okay, thank you. Well, everybody, we finished with the 8 examples. Right now, we will check if all of them are correct or not. But guys, before we check together, well, before we check on the exercise, do you have a different answer for some of these examples?
Just the number 7.
Number 7. She drinks a glass of milk after she goes to bed. What do you think is the correct sentence, Juan?
Before, because you can drink milk when you are asleep, right?
Okay, you are right, Juan, in this case. So the first action, guys, is drink a glass of milk. Remember that I said, even though before is in the second action, it makes an emphasis in the first action. That is, in this case, drink a glass of milk, okay? Even though it's next to the second action or it's in the second action. So in that case, everybody, again, okay, we make an emphasis or it makes an emphasis in the first action. That is, drink a glass of milk. Juan gave a great explanation in it that, guys, if you are sleeping, so you cannot drink anything, okay? So that's why everybody in this example is before. Do you have any other correction or everything is done?
Number 2, as Marcela said.
Okay, Edith, so you said yes, it's before in the sentence set. Okay, very good. Well, it's kind of confusing, right? It was, well, I consider this sentence was kind of confusing, but yes, guys, you are right. Before is not correct because remember, before we come home from school, no, right? So you don't do your homework at school. I mean, you don't do your homework at school, so you have to do your homework at home, okay? So in that case, after could be the right answer. Let me see.
Teacher.
Yes, Juan?
I used to do it.
Okay.
because I didn't like to do it in my home. That's why I did in the school.
Well, Salvadorian kids have, well, some of the kids have that, well, they are used to this practice well, I mean, I used to do it when I was at school because when I was at school, I liked, well, I found my favorite book. So in that case, I did my homework at school if it was short. So then at home, I could read my favorite book, but it was
That's what I said.
Like, so yeah, that's what you mentioned, right? That you did your homework because you didn't like it to do at home. So that was my, I was in the same situation. So I've been there. I was in that situation. Now, guys, we will check together if all the answers are correct. And of course, guys, I can congratulate you because we got a 10 out of 10. As you can see, well, after, before, after, before, and before. Okay, remember, guys, this is mostly about what can happen first and what can happen next, and that will help you to identify what's the correct word. Remember that if you know the meaning of before and after, so it will help you a lot at the moment of using, okay? For example, if you see sentence number 1, I wash my hands, well, after we use the toilet. So if you said before, well, it's good, guys, if you wash your hands before, but it's better if you do it after. Why? Because you are in contact with some private parts that you have on your body. So in that case, you know, you have to clean or to have your hands clean. Okay? everybody, thank you for your practice today. It was really nice, even though we were confused in some exercises, but you did an amazing job. Well, it was today's class, guys. Tomorrow we will continue practicing both kind of clauses, the relative clauses and also the adverbial clauses. So guys, I will invite you to come. I will invite you to come tomorrow and let's practice together, okay? For today, guys, I just have to tell you what's our homework for today. Let me share my screen with you. The presentation screen, and we can continue with our activities. Guys, I really congratulate you because we already start with activities on the platform. Please, guys, continue doing as much as activities as possible on the platform, okay? And in that case, guys, so we will get to our goal, okay? Remember that we have a weekly goal, and the weekly goal, everybody, the weekly objective that we have is to finish weekly objective is to finish 25% of the activities, okay? 25% of the activities. So how can we do that, everybody? How can we get that goal? By completing the activities I assigned or I show you to do for the next day. So guys, in that way, we will complete 100% even 2 or 3 days before we finish this level. So guys, try to work on the activities. If you have any question, remember, everybody is on the WhatsApp group, so you can send a message on the WhatsApp group, and if I am checking my WhatsApp, I will help you. If I am not on WhatsApp, in that case, everybody, some of our classmates can help us to give us an answer about activities that maybe we have difficulties to finish, okay? So everybody, it was a pleasure to see you today. I hope tomorrow we can continue practicing. Work on the platform, guys, and have a good night, at least for today. I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Teacher.
Bye, teacher.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Nice to see you today. Nice to listen to you.